Mistress Inviere by Tenak once said that death was the greatest mystery of life. We don't know what exists on the other side of the curtain of life, but we have spent eternities trying to figure it out. For me, it was never much of a mystery. Life is simply a series of impulses created by our brain, and when it shuts down, game over. Check, please. There is nothing beyond life. It is simply here today and gone tomorrow, at least. That's what I thought. Until I saw her. The woman who threw my whole world view in the trash, the black-veiled woman. After I graduated high school, my parents told me that my free ride was over. I had to get a job. They didn't care what I did, so long as it paid real money. I searched the wanted ads and found a job landscaping at a cemetery. It paid decent money for an entry-level position. Plus, I got to enjoy working outdoors. I dropped off my resume and was hired on the spot. My boss was super grateful that somebody finally applied. He thought it was because most people didn't enjoy the hot conditions and hard labor. I now suspect there was another reason for the sudden departures. The first couple of days were a mixed bag of feelings. By the end of the first day, I felt like $1,000,000. It was the best job ever. By the end of the second, I wanted nothing more than to quit and go home to a hot bath. But I saw how grateful everyone was to have my help, so I stuck it out. On the third date was when I saw her for the first time. I was planting flowers in the garden when several rows down, I saw a woman standing in front of a grave. She wore a black funeral dress, complete with a dark veil. She stood silently before the tombstone, softly crying to herself. I thought the dress was a bit much, but we all grieve differently. Maybe it was the anniversary of a lost parent, or her husband, after several minutes of sobbing. She silently walked away. Curiosity was always a strong sin of mine. I decided to check the gravestone the woman had visited. I was taken aback it belonged to a man who had died over 200 years ago. Well, she could have been a descendant. I highly doubted that would warrant such sobs and the full funeral attire. It was odd behavior, but not concerning. I shrugged it off and let it fade from my mind. That was, until I saw her again 3 days later. She wore the exact same funeral dress, but this time, a couple of things were different. First, she was at a different grave. Second, she was not alone. A tall, older man stood next to her. He wore a dark black suit worn out and dirty. You'd think he'd take better care of his clothes. Paying respects and all, the woman bent down, running her hands over the dirt. She slowly picked up a small clump of soil with her veil in the way. It was hard to tell, but it looked like she brought it to her mouth and ate it, like and follow for part 2.